Welcome to the Becoming Relentless podcast. I am your host, Eleanor McCabe, IFBB Bikini Pro and Team Mahaley coach. And I'm joined here by the lovely, talented, beautiful, amazing co-hosts.
Cecily Wesh. I am here and ready to get y'all fired up today.
Yeah, and Danielle Kusenberger. We are excited to help you grow and in this podcast feeling even more relentless than you came.
Heck yeah, let's go. So what does relentless mean? I think for me personally, I didn't learn how to be truly relentless until last year. So I've been competing for 5 years. And I joined Team Mahaley in 2021, and I'm working with Justin. And we prepped from May all the way until December. And that was not something that I had planned. We planned to just do one show in the summer. So mentally, I don't think that I was at the point that I should have been, because I thought in my mind, I was like, oh, we're just doing this one prep. And to me, last year was a huge test of my dedication to the sport and my mentality. And I think being relentless, the whole reason that I think that we all started this podcast is we want to be able to help and inspire other people and show you guys that everybody's journey is different, especially in the sport. And while it looks like we may have it all together, we are truly imperfect human beings and we fuck up, excuse my language. But we learned through that and we grow and it gets us to where we are today. So that is why I think that we're starting this podcast. We really want to talk about relentlessness and just never giving up and continuing to chase your dreams. So like I said, last year, I did that really long prep and mentally, it was one of the hardest things I've ever done. I think my relationships, they were tested for sure because I just had no energy. I was constantly just focused in on the goal. And Zach and I, so my boyfriend Zach, we've been together for about 5 years. Last year was one of the hardest years of our relationship because I had to learn how to be relentless, not only in pursuit of competing and achieving my goals, but also being relentless in maintaining my relationships and improving them and wanting to grow. And it was difficult. I'm not gonna lie. And it's still hard for me to talk about because I feel like he and I put out this persona of we're good, our relationship's good, we're great. But I think last year was a huge testament to learning how to be determined and dedicated in more than one area of your life. And yeah, it was a lot.
It's tough. It is tough. Yeah, for sure. The relationships in your community and prep can definitely take a back burner. That's where communication comes in. But yeah, I'm with everything mistakes, you fail. That's how you become relentless. So we're all going to fail. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to take steps back, but that's just going to push us further. Last year, or this year, actually, this beginning of this year, I went hyper. And so I was in the middle of my prep, and this is definitely one of my sadder preps because it failed.
And what does hyper mean?
Yeah. So your thyroid's overworking and basically you're shriveling away.
I like to call it disintegrating.
Yes.
Because I also went hyper.
It was
we
not funny
disintegrated.
enough. Ironically, we went through it at the same time. I was a week before, and then Seth came around and she was in it with me.
Yeah.
So we were both. You feel good. You look strong. You're in your prep. You're going, and then all of a sudden, you're within a week. Your body is going to literally shit. Yeah. So basically, all your muscle kind of disintegrates. You look really flat. You don't have energy. You feel tired all the time. You're hungry all the time. You are in bed. You can't train. Your appetite's just through the roof. So watching yourself shrivel.
Shrivel? Oh my God.
This is deep. Just kind of disintegrate away is really hard to go through. And then as hard as that is, coming back is even harder because, as we all know, building muscle is very hard. And so when you watch yourself just kind of fade away, knowing that all your work ethic and everything that you put into that prep, into building that muscle is gone, and you have to rebuild that is hard. And the first weeks coming out of being hyper, you're really flat. So you can't get pumps. Your training you're not strong. So it's really demotivating, and you don't have any inspiration, you just feel really alone and sad. So going through that and planning to compete and step on stage and honestly go pro. So I was supposed to go pro. I did a show in the beginning of July, and I was hyper during that week, which we didn't know. And so I did not look the best on stage. And obviously 2 weeks later, I was supposed to go pro. That was the plan, but I didn't compete because of this. And so it was hard to know that the goal was taken because the prep failed and your muscle and everything was gone. But
Mentally, how did that feel? Like mentally, how were you during that time?
really sad. It like I said, like watching yourself just fade away. It's like your goals fading away as well. Knowing that all the work you put in it felt worthless.
It feels like you have to start over. Like
Yeah,
that's
basically what it is, though.
Because it is, because you have to put back on all that mass again. And it's kind of like, we've been putting years into this and building this.
Right. You've been relentless in the pursuit of one goal, and to have it taken away in the span of a week.
Yeah.
And
well,
it's
a few weeks.
A few weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hard because you can't even get a pump.
Yeah.
So it's like there's nothing giving in your body. There's literally nothing. And the energy you have, you basically have no energy, but there's enough energy to feel sad and cry. So there was a lot of, like, Seth helped me through that, and we helped each other. She definitely helped me become strong and know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm very grateful for you for that. So thank you for being there and like encouraging me that there's more. So keep on giving.
Yeah. I think that also has to do, so obviously I've failed 2 preps. One was the year before and one was this year. And I think that first failed prep definitely set me up for better success mentally on the second failed prep. As horrible as that sounds, but like honestly, that like it's just teaching me more relentlessness. Like,
and that's something that like you really don't hear people say.
Yeah.
Like people don't say, "Oh, I failed a prep." So what is that like? Like, what is it like for you to have to go through that not only once but twice?
It obviously hurts your ego quite a bit, and it kind of makes you question, am I made out for this sport? Like, can I do this? Like, what's wrong with me? Am I mentally strong enough? Am I physically strong enough? Does my body just hate me at this point? Like, is this just an omen that I shouldn't do this anymore? When no, this is something that I really do believe. I think that a lot of people come across when they have hardships in their life and they're like, they fall into this victim mindset. Like, why me? Why is this happening to me? And I've really learned that you have to take those moments and ask, like, what is this moment trying to teach me? And I really do believe that this is kind of hippy dippy like thought.
Let's hear it.
I love hippy dippy.
Yes, let's hear it.
I really do believe that like everything happens for a reason. There's a greater purpose to everything that happens in your life, whether it's good, bad, sad, ugly, happy.
Yes.
Like there's a greater purpose. And I do believe that both failed preps were to make me a better coach and a better competitor in the long run. I think that because of the mental struggles that I went through with my first prep, because that really afterwards, my relationship with food was really in a bad place. And I fucked up my reverse really hard on that one, which only made it worse. Like, which only made like, not only did I fail, but then I failed the reverse. And at that same time, I was surrounded by people who were fucking skyrocketing on their journey, which made it really hard. Like Danielle was getting ready and looking dialed as hell to go to nationals. You weren't in the area, but you were doing the same thing.
Oh my god!
But she was dying too.
It looked like I was doing well, but...
And then our other friend was getting ready to go to the freaking Olympia. And being surrounded by that, and then also just failing so hard in those areas of my life, that really took me down a notch. And I won't lie, I was depressed for probably like a few months. And I'm really bad about being vulnerable with the people around me. And so I kind of kept that in, and I didn't communicate with my coach about how I was feeling, like fully and honestly about like how like mentally I was really struggling. I didn't communicate with my friends either. Like, I kind of just showed up and I acted like everything was okay because I'm really good at putting on a front. But by going through that
internally.
and working through that internally, I don't recommend doing that. But I do think that because I was able to do that, it set me up to where I don't ever want to go through that again. And I learned to apply better feedback into my next failed prep or just prep in life in general.
Yeah.
And I think that it's made me a better coach because I can also like empathize and understand and probably spot
Warning signs.
warning
Yeah.
signs from like my competitors as well, because I know what communication pattern is going to look like because I've done that myself.
Right. And you know what it's like to want to shut down and
Exactly.
how that is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I am so sorry that you
Yeah.
both had to go through like something
Yeah.
like that. And I think that it's really cool that you can share that openly here because I don't think there are a lot of competitors who would openly admit to saying like, yeah, I started a prep and then I failed.
Yeah.
Let alone like Sess, dude, like 2 failed preps, most athletes wouldn't go back.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
I feel like if anything, it's just made me love this sport
Yeah.
even more because I love it so much. And like I feel more aligned with bodybuilding than I ever have now because obviously I went hyper this year. I lost a lot of muscle mass. I think I was down like 25 pounds within a span. I think it was 30 pounds actually within a span of like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
And and I wasn't lean. I was like
it was
it
muscle.
was muscle.
depleted.
Yeah.
It was muscle.
It was muscle.
And being in figure, like I had just shriveled up. I had disintegrated. And while that sucked to see all that muscle mass go away, I do think that because I remained persistent and relentless in my pursuit
Mhm.
and was able to tap into like a new level mentally and make this kind of like a pivot point for myself, it made me have like the best progression of my life. Like I will say, like without a doubt, I am progressing the most I ever have right now. And I think it's because I feel aligned. The losing that muscle made me kind of reflect and think about like, what do I really want to do in this sport? And I wasn't aligned with my journey. There was a reason why I feel like it wasn't working out, and it's because I was in the wrong division. Like,
Yeah.
like I mean, I could have been good in figure, but I wasn't passionate about it. I didn't feel like myself, and so making that switch into wellness now, I feel super aligned and just fired up and excited about it.
As someone who sees you train like on a daily basis, you have been an absolute beast. Like
Thank you.
it's just insane to watch the progression that you've made like even in the last like 6-8 weeks. It's
Thank
just
you.
it's crazy. If you guys get a chance, go to Cecily's Instagram and creep
It's
all of her
insane.
posts. Oh my gosh, she was born for wellness.
Monster.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
been
Yeah.
amazing.
Thank you.
That's an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just love training,
I know.
guys.
But it pushes all
and
of us.
and I
too.
do have to say, having that kind of like love for one part of the sport and kind of keeping that as like your safety pad and your where it grounds you,
Mm-hmm.
that's something that can really help you in maintaining your like relentlessness. Because like for me, training is my passion. That's what I love. I think competing's cool. I like winning, but like training. That is like
Yeah.
that's where I find
agree.
like my most fulfillment.
And on two things, I think that going through the hardships definitely help you find your it factor, because it reminds you of your purpose and the reason why you're doing what you're doing and the reason why you pour so much of your effort into things, especially when you fail or you mess up or you make a mistake or you set yourself back. Like these things happen for a reason. So the victim mentality will either bring you down and make you fail even more or make you push harder and remind yourself of how powerful and relentless you actually are. So don't dumb yourself down. Don't lower yourself when these things happen. Make sure that you still have this mindset of like, okay, like I messed up, I failed, like, or this thing happened to me. It's unfortunate, but watch me come back even stronger. Watch what I do with this hardship.
Absolutely. Sometimes you have to lose. Like sometimes you have to fall flat on your face and hit rock bottom, whatever
Fail.
like rock bottom
Fail.
is for you, like fail hard to come back and be stronger and realize that you do have that in you. Like you have the persistence, you have the drive, it's there. But sometimes it does take like getting hurt, like having your ego hurt.
And I have to say, I do feel like the judges, they don't know, but I think they can see it on stage. Like we keep
Passion.
talking about that it factor. It's that passion, it's that drive, it's that when you are up on that stage, you have like this aura that like I really do believe like just
I agree.
100%.
goes out when
100%.
you've been through something,
Yeah.
and the judges love that and they're gonna eat that.
Yeah. Well,
That's the thing. Yeah. Like when you step on stage, first look, the judges know.
Yeah.
If you're passionate about it, it shines like right off of you.
I agree. And I used to, this might sound a little weird, but I used to want to fail just because I knew if I failed, I'd come back so much stronger. So it's not that I wanted to fail on stage or anything like that, but like in cardio that you're doing, like you want to feel as if you're always behind. So you're pushing harder and you're going harder than before. And that's why like even in cardio protocols, like a lot of times we have like beat the amount of minutes that you hit for cardio the last session because you constantly want to be pushing harder. And that's what failing does. It makes you level up. It makes you find more in you to give more.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think just to touch on that, that just reminded me. So like, it's kind of funny, but last year, I was just talking about this with Liz, but last year I went into North Americans super confident. I was like, yeah, I'm getting my pro card. Like this is my, I was literally like, if you like talked to me that weekend, I was like, yeah, this is my show. Like, so, and if you know me, like, you know, I am not,
You're
out,
very
like
humble.
I'm not like
You're a very
that. Like,
humble person.
really not at all. So like for me to go into that show having so much, I wouldn't even say confidence, it was cockiness. Like I was like, yeah, like it's mine. And then to hear my name called for third place at North Americans, that like bruh, that hurt. And like third at a national show is not
really
a
good.
bad placing at all.
But it
But like
feels
especially
so
for your
bad.
first one.
right,
Yeah,
it like
feels
that
bad.
that shit hurt.
It
And
does.
so like that lit the fire under me that I was like, wow, I really like, I'm not good at all. I suck. And so from North Americans to nationals, which was 16 weeks more of prep that I was like not mentally prepared for at all, or emotionally or financially. Like I wasn't prepared for that. But I was like, you know what? Like I have to do this. Like I have to be relentless because I want to go, like I wanted to go pro so badly. And I knew I could do it. But it was just like, okay, 16 more weeks. And having that feeling of failure and that feeling of like embarrassment. Like I was like, oh my God, like I posted on social media that like I was going pro this weekend and I didn't. Having that like almost like shame to it, like really just like lit the fire. And so from there, like honestly, I think that's a huge reason why I did go pro at nationals, because I had that like fire under me of like I can't do that again.
There's no other option.
Yeah, there's no other option.
And a lot of people only share the success on IG. Like they're winning even within prep, like what they don't share what they're going through, like the hardships, their relationships, the communication with their relationships, if they're food focused or anything.
No one goes on social media like, hey, I fought with my boyfriend last night for like 4 hours, dude.
It was bad.
I don't
know if we're
necessarily
together.
I don't think I really want that to be on social media
I'm just
either.
saying,
Like,
but
I'm not saying like I want y'all to take selfies of yourself crying while you're in prep and posting on your stories.
This is
but
trust us,
right.
but
every
no,
person,
that's happening.
Yeah, everybody goes through something like that.
Yeah, I agree. And like every person there's a time in prep where you're literally crying. Like we've all been there, like crying before cardio, crying after cardio. Like there's a point where you're just like emotional, and prep does make you very emotional, for me at least. Like I get really emotional, and that's just part of it. Like you have to know, like it's okay. Like it's supposed to hurt mentally, physically, all of it. It's supposed to be hard, and like that's how you become relentless on stage, and that's how you have the it factor, and that's how you have this aura and that passion, and that's where you actually feel most aligned within competing in bodybuilding.
And it's just going to like pay off in so many other areas of your life. If you can be relentless in bodybuilding, you can be relentless in anything that you do.
Want the prep to be hard.
Yeah.
You want it to be hard.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I really love that. If you can be relentless in bodybuilding, you can be relentless anywhere else.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
100% agree.
Yeah. But I think that's a good note to kind of leave them on.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in again. It's been wonderful speaking with you. I feel like we're just sitting around chatting with
Drinking
our
our
girlies.
coffee.
Making sure that y'all feel relentless with us.
Yes. Go out and have a relentless rest of your day.
Yes.
Yep. And leave everyone with a good vibe check.
I hope y'all really enjoyed the podcast today, leaving it feeling more relentless than ever. But we have a few things that we would love to ask of you, so I'm going to give this over to Noah.
Thank you guys so much for listening. If you could, I know that this is your new favorite podcast. Please leave a 5-star rating and review. Leave any comments and questions below. And make sure that you're sharing across social media so that all of your friends get to listen to the greatest podcast on earth.
And if you have any questions about any topics that we talk about or anything at all, fitness, competing related, anything, we'll hit you back up, Instagram or in the podcast under, if the comment box is there, then we will definitely answer your questions and help you out as best as we can.
But we do have a little incentive that we would love to share with y'all. If you do leave us a 5-star rating and review and then send a screenshot to any of us via Instagram, we'll leave that in the comment section here for y'all. But we're going to start a raffle where 3 people in the first month here, if you leave that 5-star rating review and DM it to us, you're going to be entered into a raffle to earn a spot on the Team Haley team with the 3 of us.
Yep.
So we'll each be taking 1 new athlete this month, and you'll get a free month of coaching from that.
Full-on coaching.
3 month of full-on coaching.
Full services, everything that you need to improve, and I promise you will not be let down. You will see major progress.
Absolutely. So leave those 5-star reviews. Let us know, and we'll talk to y'all again soon.
Have a relentless day.
Bye.